Hello, everyone. My name is Allie Tharp. I am on the Purpose and People teams of the Festival Beach Food Forest and the board of the Serafina Food Pantry.
Hello, I am Farah Rivera, the founder of the Serafina Pantry and a resident of the RBJ Towers.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Barona. I am a co-founder of the Festival Beach Food Forest and Fruitful Commons.
Hi, my name is Julio Perez, and I am site manager of Festival Beach Community Garden.
Hi, I'm Jody Lane. I am a co-founder of the Festival Beach Food Forest and Fruitful Commons.
Hi, my name is Umair Kaku. I'm on the Festival Beach Food Forest, Plant, and Prosper teams.
Our project is called Rooting and Blooming, Cultivating a Fruitful Commons at Festival Beach Food Forest and Community Garden. By funding our unique and innovative coalition, the Thriving Cities Challenge can help cultivate a community food justice and climate resilience hub at one of the most significant community crossroads in Austin, Texas. Austin is the capital of Texas and the ancestral lands of the Humanos, Tonkawa, Lipan Apache, Comanche, and Coatlicon nations. The city is divided north to south by the Colorado River and east to west by Highway I-35. Austin's 1928 master plan used I-35 as a Jim Crow dividing line, requiring Black and brown families to move east of it to the Holly, Cesar Chavez, and Rosewood neighborhoods. For many generations, these families have dealt with environmental racism, redlining, and now displacement due to gentrification. Our project is just a few hundred meters from the meeting point of these dividing lines that shape the compass of our city. In 1972, the Rebecca Baines Johnson Center, or RBJ, was built in the Cesar Chavez neighborhood to provide affordable housing to low-income, disabled, and elderly Austinites. Serafina Pantry, founded by the amazing Farah Rivera in 2013, is located inside of RBJ. The Festival Beach Community Garden was established in 2010, and it is a beloved and thriving garden. Many RBJ residents tend to garden plots and enjoy the harvests that come through the food pantry. The first phase of the food forest was planted in 2015, and phase 2 will be planted very soon thanks to the help of our 501c3 fiscal sponsors, Fruitful Commons. The story of the food forest begins with one of the most significant grassroots environmental justice struggles in Austin's history, the campaign to decommission Holly Power Plant. After 16 years of campaigning, the power plant was finally shut down in 2011. As a result of this victory, the city began working on a new master plan for improving the parkland nearby. Longtime residents were loud and clear that they wanted the parkland to stay tranquil and family-oriented and for the neighborhood to stay affordable. Our group listened to and worked with the community for 3 years and together strategically placed the food forest next to RBJ to advocate for its affordability, to share the beauty of gardens with all families, and to provide free food and medicines to all.
East Austin has the highest rates of food insecurity and diet-related health challenges in the entire city. At RBJ Tower, the food insecurity rate is extremely high at around 43%. Together, the food forest, the community garden, and Serafina Food Pantry are increasing food access where it's most needed. Now, you may be wondering, what is a food forest anyways? Food forestry is an ecosystem approach to food production that has been practiced for centuries and is seeing a revival as communities seek to enhance climate resilience and food sovereignty. Using food forestry, we've been able to transform a field of Bermuda grass into a lush and fruitful commons with more than 170 fruit and nut trees and thousands of understory plants. Our food forest is a public commons managed by community volunteers just like me. Anyone is welcome to come and harvest whenever the parkland is open. We're also generating climate resilience by restoring watersheds, regenerating soil, building tree canopy, sequestering carbon, and cultivating biodiversity. For example, 25 different bee species have been documented visiting the food forest and community garden.
We've accomplished amazing and beautiful things over the past 5 years, and we're ready to scale and deepen our impact. Just weeks ago, the Austin City Council approved our proposal to expand the food forest, and we have drafted a landscape design integrating significant input from RBJ residents and the wider community. One of the key features of our Phase 2 design is a community outdoor kitchen and education pavilion. We envision this pavilion will serve as an important anchor for transforming our campus into a community resilience hub. We plan to use the Thriving City Challenge Award to partially fund the installation of the community pavilion. The remainder of the award funds will be used to hire the first ever dedicated paid staff for the food forest and expand hours for the Serafina pantry manager. This will ensure that we have the capacity for implementing this expansion and for growing our volunteer and community base to sustain this program for the long term. The City of Austin's Climate Equity Plan has set an ambitious target that by 2030, 100% of Austinites can access a pro-climate, pro-health food system that is community-driven, prioritizes regenerative agriculture, and minimizes food waste. Our project coalition is at the leading edge of making this goal a reality. The Festival Beach campus provides a concrete model for how edible and medicinal landscaping can be paired strategically with traditional community gardens and food distribution services to nourish, connect, and inspire. We founded Fruitful Commons to make these connections and scale this model citywide, providing fiscal sponsorship, funding access, volunteer and workforce development, and city-level advocacy for the Festival Beach campus and the over 80 other existing community food projects throughout the city, as well as for new projects that emerge as the Climate Equity Plan is implemented.
We are deeply committed to this vision of cultivating climate equity and resilience through strategic partnerships for food justice. By providing us with the means to increase our staff capacity and develop our outdoor kitchen and education pavilion, the Thriving Cities Challenge can catalyze a community food justice and climate resilience hub at one of the most significant community crossroads in Austin, Texas, and beyond. Thank you so much for your consideration and support.
Thanks so much, Festival Beach. Evaluators, I see that Benita has a question. Why don't you jump on in?
Yes, thank you. And I actually thought this presentation was super helpful. I think it filled in a lot of the visual blanks, and I'm glad that you guys sort of laid out all of the different pieces. So we don't have to worry about that question. I am actually curious about the last piece that you talked about, because I had jotted that down around the 100% food access target the city has. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about more specifically how you were working with the other stakeholders to help that are part of the sort of the food community to help advance the city towards its goal. And you know, that's kind of related to metrics too. How are you measuring your success? But I would love to hear a little bit more about your stakeholder engagement across the city.
Go ahead, Jody.
I saw all of us unmute. Hi. So we are meeting monthly with the Office of Sustainability as well as the Parks Department. And we've just now, Fruitful Commons has been selected to be one of 5 teams to be in the Austin Civilian Conservation Corps conversation. So if should we, win this Thriving Cities Challenge and be able to fund these 3 positions, we see that the harvest position is going to be especially important to have someone making a living wage and duplicating that throughout the city. The city is also looking to us to take over new lands, like they're asking for Fruitful Commons. Can you actually own this land and build a food forest on it? So we're really starting those conversations.
May I say something?
Yes, Farah.
Yes, ma'am. The impact that both the food forest and the garden have had on particularly the clients of Serafina, who tend to be seniors and handicapped people, cannot be measured just in numbers. you need to see their faces when they are given a choice of fresh foods. You need to see them enjoy whatever it is that the forest and the garden offers them. The socialization process that they go through when they take part in the garden and the forest activities. These are all unmeasurable to us.
Mm-hmm. And there's actually, I like the intergenerational engagement, right? Which was a question in a prior project too. So that's was great to see.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Gil, did you want to jump in?
Yes, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned that you are working directly with the Department of Parks. Are you also working with public health? Because I think your project is so much linked to mental and physical and emotional health of people of all ages and abilities, that it would be an ideal partner for the project would be anybody, private or public or NGOs related to health. Are you doing anything with them?
Yeah, I can.
That's why we need the new personnel.
Yeah. We aim to grow in that way. I'm reminded by your question of Austin is trying to be a thriving city for seniors and has set some dedicated goals towards this as well. And there's some public health stakeholders, as well as with the University of Texas, really seeking multi-generational health outcomes. And we've been part of that conversation with the RBJ residents as well. So that comes to mind as one of those ways that we're in connection to Austin Public Health. Jody, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I meet regularly with a group that's another coalition, Community Resilience Trust, and the St. David's Foundation, and others are on that call. And, you know, we're part of the food policy board that really centers around health and well-being. So we're tapping in, but as far as says, this is where we could have more organizational capacity to do those things.
Also as a way to attract more funding and more partners and whatever, because what you are doing is about eating healthier, but also socializing, loneliness. It's really good for all types of health. Being in nature and all of this. So I don't have more questions, but I think they would, anything related to health, especially post-pandemic, it would be an ideal partner to your very good project.
Julio?
Thank you, Mr. Salazar. I would like to add to that, as you're saying, for health, I particularly myself, I have benefit from working in the garden and working with great people like Farah and Jody and everybody else. I found myself in the garden by accident, but I've been working in the garden for at least the last 11 years. And the impact that is for me, that has helped me. I was, like what you're saying, very depressed and bad health. My health has increasingly gotten better. My socializing has really brought up my emotions and stuff. I do get depressed and stuff, but the impact that it's made for me is like tremendous. I had walking issues because of all the activity that I do in the garden. I've gotten out of that. I see how I've worked with a lot of seniors from the RBJ Center. I also have done work for the Senior Activity Center in my area, and I have shared the gardening experience with them. And I could see what you're saying about how it affects us with our health and how much impact it would do the whole community in general. So I would love if we could actually tap into the income that y'all might be able to provide us to make a big impact to the whole community.
There's also the health of our wildlife. Julio is an excellent steward and is working with other organizations for the health of the foxes and
our community garden has been certified as a natural habitat, and that's one of the agreements we've had with the city, is that by them letting us borrow this land, which is 2.5 acres of our community garden, that's different from the food forest. We've been able to provide spaces for all our wildlife to thrive, because with all the development going on around us, this is the only space I got. And I just really enjoy not only helping the wildlife, but also viewing it. It's so like, I don't know, it brings me a lot of joy, and I love watching all the things that happen that I didn't even know before.
So we're running out of time. I want to get a quick question in here. Thank you so much, all of you. This is a really great project. I guess I'm curious, in your budget, the pavilion in your presentation, you talked about the little pavilion outside that will have some cooking and class space and stuff, which sounds like an important opportunity for, I don't know, canning workshops and other things, which really do bring people together. I've seen lots of places where it's just those kind of cooking facilities are so important. I guess I think you're planning to use $10,000 of this grant toward that, but then there's a gap. And I'm curious, do you have other ways to fill the gap to get that part of this done? Or how are you thinking about getting like the full funding for that part of the project?
Jonathan, go for it.
Yeah, we've secured funding kind of from different projects or different programs within the city. So we work closely with the Urban Forestry Department. We've received grants from their neighborhood partnering program. So we work closely with the city and other fundraising sources. The other kind of thing happening right now on the campus that's kind of been a big driver of a lot of this change is there is a new development going in around the RBJ Center and the hatchery that's there, which we're showing right now. So we've had active conversations with the developers there, as well as other kind of tenants and stakeholders who are part of that development to try to secure some additional funding. And then through the accelerator program that Jody mentioned, there's some funding attached to that, as well as kind of other funding opportunities. So we're actively in capacity building mode and kind of growth mode with the food forest, the kind of Festival Beach campus, and then Fruitful Commons is kind of an umbrella organization. So I hope that answers your question fully.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, Sadhu. Let's give Jalan the last question.
No, I just typed it in the chat because I know we were running out of time. So Festival Beach Food Forest team, please read my comment, but thank you for your presentation.